While people online were writing comments about how Shen Yue looked at the first international film festival, she was already in Shanghai, booked, working and completely unbothered. And the footage from the very next day told a story that looked nothing like the narrative spreading online. So today, the real story. Because there were two stories unfolding at the same time. And most people only noticed one. Here on Asian Star Spotlight, we don't just talk about Shen Yu's dramas and co-stars. We explore the stories, the facts and the possibilities behind her journey. So if that sounds like your kind of content, subscribe and join us. When photos and videos from her appearance at the first International Film Festival in Xining began circulating on Weibo, critical comments followed almost immediately. People commented on her appearance, her body and the way she looked in certain photographs. Let me say this clearly before anything else. Body shaming is never acceptable. Not towards Shen Yue or towards anyone at all. Being a public figure does not make someone's body open for public commentary. But there is something else worth examining here. Because the images that sparked those conversations were not showing people reality. They were showing what happens when specific camera conditions are applied to any human being at a formal event. Events like the first International Film Festival are photographed by dozens of professionals simultaneously. Telephoto lenses, wide-angle lenses, direct flash and multiple shooting positions. Wide-angle lenses used at close range distort proportions. Harsh overhead lighting creates shadows that do not exist in natural conditions. So, even a perfectly fitted gown can look completely different in one frozen frame, depending on how it falls in that specific moment. This is not unique to Shen Yue. It happens at every major formal event to every person standing on that carpet. The difference is how people choose to respond. The festival photographs showed one moment under very specific conditions, and the Shanghai footage showed something else entirely. The very next day, Shen Yue arrived in Shanghai for a commercial schedule. There was no red carpet or staged press photography. Just ordinary people recording her with their phones as she moved through her day. And almost immediately fans noticed. The candid footage reflected what people who have met Shen Yue in person have consistently said for years. The crew from Be With Me said it. The campsite staff said it. And people who encountered her at the paragliding camp said it. She looks even better in person than on camera. The Shanghai footage did not create a new reality. It simply reminded people that a single photograph, especially one taken under formal event conditions, rarely tells the whole story. Here is what surprised me most about this entire situation. Almost none of the discussion focused on why Shen Yue was at that festival in the first place. She was not attending as a celebrity guest. She had been appointed as a jury member for the super short film category, a role that recognized her academic background in journalism and her growing credibility within the filmmaking community. That is not a promotional appearance but a professional recognition. While people debated screenshots, they completely overlooked the achievement those photographs were actually documenting. The conversation became about her appearance. The real story was about her career. Shen Yue has navigated this kind of scrutiny for years. Comments about her appearance, her weight and her body. So, none of it is new, and none of it has ever stopped her. She did not respond publicly, neither did she address the comments. She simply continued with her schedule. While people were arguing in comment sections, she had already moved on to her next commitment. That quiet consistency says more than any response ever could. Not every comment deserves a reply. Sometimes the most powerful answer is simply continuing to build. In my next video, Shen Yue's World This Week, we are catching up on everything that happened this week, including new schedules, updates, and the moments fans may have missed. So put on your notifications so you do not miss it. There is a version of this story where the comments become the headline, where one significant career milestone gets overshadowed by criticism That has nothing to do with why she was there. But this video exists so that does not happen. Because the headline is not the comments. The headline is a journalism student discovered almost by accident, who built a career without the traditional blueprint, and who walked into one of China's most respected film festivals, not as a guest but as someone trusted to evaluate creative work. That is the story, and everything else is noise. So, when you first saw the coverage from the first international film festival, what stood out to you? And did the Shanghai footage change your perspective? Leave your thoughts below. This community has become one of the most thoughtful spaces to discuss Shen Yue, and I genuinely look forward to reading what you think. Before we finish today's video, I have one quick update. If you enjoy videos like this and you'd like to support the channel, you can now become a member by tapping the join button next to subscribe. Your support helps me continue creating a positive home for Shen Yue fans all around the world, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. If this video said something you needed to hear, like it, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on your notifications. She was appointed to a film festival jury. She flew to Shanghai. She went back to work. She kept moving forward. And maybe that is the biggest lesson in this entire story. Not every comment deserves a response. Sometimes the best answer is simply continuing to build the career you have worked for. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.